Today, I want to talk about Tesla. And the reason why is because I recently sold mine. And the reason I sold mine is there have been multiple things that have happened throughout the time that I had owned it, which was a little bit over 5 years, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And the thing is, that would all be generally okay, but it led to the final straw and the culmination of all of it, where I just basically threw my hands up and said, I need to walk away. I need to get out of this car. So, what happened? Back in 2020, I had purchased a used 2016 Tesla Model S. And the reason why is because I just thought they were super cool. I thought they were very interesting. And they looked fun. And what I will say, before I say anything else in this video, is that it is the most fun vehicle that you can drive. The experience of it, it's just, it zips, it goes, it's quiet, it's, again, the most fun that I've ever had driving a vehicle. So I will give them that. But back to the vehicle that I purchased. The reason I got it is because it was one of the ones with a newer body style. Because in 2016 they cut over, and I just really liked that body style. So that was why I went with that year. And then it also was the first ones that at the time I was purchasing were still advertised as having a 5-year warranty. So I said, great, because the way I look at it is I thought, hey, you probably get a new vehicle every 5 or so years anyway, and so by the time the warranty is up, I'll probably want a new vehicle. So, okay, that's fine. It all makes sense. We'll go with that. So the problem right from the start was that within a couple of months from me buying the car, the brake light actually had went out. And so the way that you service the vehicle is you put it in, you have the Tesla app, and then you can open up, hey, I need service to my vehicle. And the way that they did it, okay, that's a quick fix, right? Your brake light, they come out to you, so they come to your house, and then they do the install on site, and then they leave. So that, that's pretty cool how they handled it. But again, this is like 5 years ago. But one of the troubling things about that is that when I had opened it up in my initial conversation with them, they were like, oh no, we're not showing in our system that you have a warranty. Which is super weird, because literally the entire reason I purchased the car was that, oh hey, essentially this warranty, like the warranty is like for 5 years. Like I want everything covered, because the issue with them is their stuff breaks on them, right? Because it's the newest car manufacturer in the United States. So yes, they have been doing it for a while now, but have they worked out all of their kinks? Probably not. So that was, again, reassuring for me. That was the entire reason I purchased it, was because I knew it had the warranty. And also, by the way, because the components that they use in them are more technologically advanced, if anything breaks, it's also way more expensive. So right off the bat, they're like, we don't have any record of your warranty. And so I basically was arguing with them, like, no, man, like, I 100% have one. And they didn't really argue that much. So to their credit, they just said, oh yeah, okay. And I think they put it in their system, he has whatever warranty. Okay, that got settled. Totally fine. The next, and that was minor, but just again, setting the tone that from the start screwed up a little bit. The next one was a couple years later, the entire driver door panel came unattached. Like literally, this is the frame, and the door panel is like hanging off. Same thing. I put it in the app. Hey, here's an issue. And then, oh, by the way, I also, and this is so annoying because I make a concerted effort not to drive behind large vehicles, purely for the reason that I don't want a rock to come up and hit my windshield and chip it. I literally was merging across 2 lanes of traffic, got behind a vehicle for literally a second, and a rock comes up and chips my windshield. Of course. So what happened though is I reached out to, in that instance, for the windshield. I was already playing and I had scheduled it and whatever. The car was still usable, so it was fine. It was maybe like a week or 2 to get into them. But in that meantime, I reached out to my insurance company at the time and I said, hey, this happened. Let me know what you can do, because like Tesla likes to do all of the repairs on site, but the insurance companies don't work with Tesla because of the parts, and like the windshield is super expensive. And so for a windshield. And so when that happens, I wasn't sure what the circumstances were. They weren't really sure, so they had to go in and, oh yeah, let us look at it and we'll figure it out. And then they found someone who was going to come out and do it. But during that time, right, between when they said yes and no, I was scheduling it to bring it in for the door panel, and then I had also put in, oh, by the way, there's also the windshield that I need. Can you give me a quote on that? Because when you put it in the app, the nice thing about it at the time was that they would tell you the entire quote. So they're like, oh yeah, if you need, here's the door panel. And this was another thing with the door panel, is that they were saying, oh yeah, your warranty has expired, which this is like 2 or 3 years in. And I'm like, no, it absolutely is not. You need to fix this and it's for free. But then the windshield, so I argued with them then. They said, okay, it's still in the warranty. Okay, fine. And then the windshield, though, because that's just standard wear and tear, they call it. So that one, fully expecting that, yes, I would have to pay for that. Or the insurance covers it, and ideally they work together. But at this time, I didn't know that they don't talk. They don't want to work together. So what happened though is while I was waiting I did not approve it with them. I said, okay, I'm gonna bring it in for the door, so you can reattach the door panel back on, but I do not want to do the glass because I had talked to the insurance company and they were gonna send someone out and it's covered because that's how my insurance is set up. So okay, that's what I'm gonna do. The insurance is going to handle it. I did not approve that portion of the work. But I bring it in, and then, oh, hey, they did it anyway. So my biggest issue with that is that because again, so I ended up getting reimbursed from the insurance company. But the issue is, in the interim, Tesla had installed this glass without my approval, and then I'm guessing probably because they figured that the insurance company would reimburse me, but they charge me, which again I was expecting if I was going through them I would probably have to be charged, and that was part of the conversation with the insurance company of like, oh, do you charge it? Do you or do you reimburse me or like what? And they're like, oh yeah, we can do that, but we have someone and we can get it done for a lot less money on our end. Which I was like, okay, great, let's do that then. But then, so they charge me, it's $3,000 for that glass repair, and then I'm sitting there waiting for like a month. And again, I don't fault the insurance company because Tesla just did it like cavalier style. And then my insurance, I was like, I'm sorry, like this wasn't the plan. And then again, like I said, they did good by me. by reimbursing me, but now I'm out $3,000. Like, what person, the average person, could just float $3,000 because Tesla decided to cavalierly replace my glass? And then, oh yeah, figure it out. Like, not knowing, again, I'm sure they probably had some wherewithal of like, oh yeah, we've seen this happen in the past and they always reimburse it, so just do it anyway. But like, that is insane to me that they would do that. So that kind of pissed me off. And again, having to argue about the warranty again, right? So now this is 2 times. It's a pattern at this point in time. And what I will say though is that the nice thing was, at least during that repair, they gave me a loaner vehicle. So I could still drive around, and I got a Model X I could have for the weekend when they worked on it or whatever, those few days. And so that was great. But then when I went to go pick it up, I get in, and there's like a console, right, where the rear view mirror is hanging off of, and it sticks to the glass, literally hanging down. Like, I walk out to it and it's just hanging down with the wires coming out. Like, what are we doing here? What is going, like, did you, like, I couldn't believe it. A newly replaced windshield, and that console just is falling. So I'm like, what are we? So then I had to leave it with them again, and then leave again. I truly blows my mind, right? Like, great quality control. So anyway, that all got taken care of. And then the straw that broke the camel's back for me is that I had my front passenger side air suspension, right? Because it has air suspension, so it can lift up and drop down, and you can change the height of the vehicle's ride, right? The front passenger suspension blew out. No big deal. Drove it home. It was navigable, but you could easily tell. Like, it was riding very, very low. Nothing was scraping, thankfully, unless you tried to, like, really, crank it hard to, like, do a U-turn or something like that. But, again, drivable. Barely. But I literally could not drive it in between the time that I put in the ticket in the Tesla app to the time I brought it into the service center. And the first thing that was weird about this experience is I looked it up online because I was like, oh my gosh, like, how much is this going to be? Especially after the windshield debacle. And it was literally right outside, like maybe a couple of weeks outside of the warranty period. So I look it up online, and it's like, people were saying anywhere from like $1,200 to $5,000. So I just kind of looked at it and I was like, all right, this is going to be $5,000. So I put it in the app to do the service, and then it comes back, and I'm thinking, oh, this is the same way it has been, $250, which I was like, oh wow, like maybe this is some sort of factory recall and they're just charging me for labor for, replacing it. I was like, okay, cool, like, great, awesome. So I approve the quote, and then they schedule it, and it's literally a month out. Literally a month. So imagine and ask yourself this question. How is the average person supposed to function without a drivable car for a month? And even them, like, when I was talking to them and I was saying, hey, like, should I drive it in? And like, they should know. They were like, well, we would suggest that you get it towed. Which is like, so okay, it's not drivable. It's literally not drivable. And you cannot service it for a month? Wild. Like, imagine if I was single and I lived alone and this was the only car I had. And imagine if I had a job I had to commute to. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? This is insane. Patently insane. That is not functional at all. Like, how are you supposed to get around? How am I supposed to get groceries? How am I supposed to do anything? Like, this is not a sustainable model. So, whatever. Again, luckily I'm able to get around it because there are 2 vehicles and it's fine. But then Tesla did the scummiest thing that I hate more than anything in the entire world. What they charged and what I approved was a diagnostics charge. And then only when I brought it in and drop it off and leave it with them for 24 hours, that they then come back at me and tell me, oh, it's going to be $3,200, which drives me insane. I hate that. I refuse to work with companies that operate in that manner, because it is such a scumbag move to just, oh yeah, we're going to lure you in, come bring your car in, and then when it's in, oh, by the way, here's the actual cost of it. Now that we have your car and we have the $250 already paid, well, here's what the actual cost is. I hate it more than anything. And this is truly the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, the wait time was insane. I already was kind of pissed off about not being able to use my car for a month. But then, oh, by the way, now you're bait and switching me. You're literally, here's the way it's always worked. We get the cost fully approved, the invoice fully approved and paid before we do anything. And then, oh, by the way, now, just kidding, we're going to totally switch it up. This is only a diagnostics charge. And that's what they told me, too. This is only a diagnostics charge, and the actual cost is $3,200. And, oh, by the way, this is the thing that really pissed me off about it, is that it didn't even need to have both of them replaced. That quote was literally for both hydraulics, both air suspension, to be replaced, when only one of them blew out. And they were like, oh, well, that's just what we suggest. Okay, but how long could I drive on the other one before it goes out as well? And the only reason they let me know that was because I raised hell with them, because I told them, fix it to drivable, and I'm selling it immediately. And that's exactly what I did. The day I got my car back, I took it to a car wash, took pictures of it, and posted it online. Because I am fed up. Like, I do not respect companies that do that to you. And again, not sustainable, even if I look at it from the functionality standpoint, not sustainable to only have, be without your car for a month. Like, what are we doing here? And it's just such a scummy tactic, and I don't want to do business with a company that works in that way. And it wasn't even just the cost of it, right? Because, as I said, I did research on the front end, and I said, okay, how much is this going to cost? I was fully prepared to pay $5,000. If they had put $3,200 in the app and said, oh yeah, this is how much it's going to be, I would have been like, all right, I get it. That's actually less than I was expecting to pay. But because that bait and switch, that, hey, it's $250. Oh, great. Oh, now that we have your car, it's $3,200. And oh, by the way, that's not even the actual cost. It's actually, it's less than that. We can just do the one, we can install the one. But because we want to make more money off of it, we're going to upsell you the two and not give you the option to do what's best for you. Again, it's like undrivable. Like, you literally, if you hit a speed bump, you're screwed. Like, you can't drive the vehicle. It's not in a functional drivable state. Or if you hit a big bump on the road or something, you literally could damage the vehicle. And so I was just incensed. Like, I was so mad. And that's what essentially drove me to want to make this video. It's just like, hey, watch out. And oh, by the way, here's why I'm selling it. And then the other issue too is battery roulette. And that's why it's basically like a game of musical chairs where, hey, I need to get out of the vehicle before the battery goes, because otherwise you're out $20,000. Like, that's not a financially sustainable model. And I don't think it's, I'm waiting to see, because there are so many Teslas that I see out and about, when all of these vehicles start having battery failures. And that's always been my issue with electric. Like, I literally got it because, again, my thought process was, I'm going to have this for 5 years, and then I'm going to get a new one. And so everything should be covered in that 5 years with the warranty, which they constantly tried to get out of. But it made sense at that time, so I was totally fine with it. But when it comes time, and I'm sure I could have used it for much longer, I had 61,000 miles on it. So there are Tesla out there with way more mileage, so I'm sure it was not remotely close to battery failure. But when that time comes, you don't want to be the one caught holding the bag, because that's essentially, you're paying, I mean, now prices are way more expensive, but you're paying essentially the cost of a lower end new car for nothing, for the same car but a new battery in it. I mean, that doesn't sit well with me. That's not a financial decision I would like to make, but to each their own. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know my story with Tesla. Let me know if you're having similar issues with them. Like I said, my final straw was truly that bait and switch that they did. I hated it. It pissed me off to no end, obviously. That's why I'm here making this video. But yeah, just a warning, things to think about. Again, I will give them credit. It's the most intuitive car. Once you get into it and you start using it, it is the funnest driving experience, hands down. I've driven a lot of nice cars, but that is by far and away the best. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't make sense, time-wise and financial-wise, if you're planning to try and keep it for any length of time. But anyway, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content from me, drop me a subscription below. It really does help my channel grow. And if you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.